Chapter 15. Budget and Budgetary Control. Learning objectives. State the meaning and essentials of budget. Discuss the importance of budget and budgetary control. Describe the process of preparing budgets. Discuss the different types of budgets. Differentiate and prepare fixed and flexible budget. Meaning of budget and budgeting. Budget is a quantitative expression of a plan for a defined period of time. Budgeting is a means of coordinating the combined intelligence of an entire organization into a plan of action based on past performance. Essentials of budget. 1. Organizational structure must be clearly defined and responsibility should be assigned to identifiable units within the organization. 2. Setting of clear objectives and reasonable targets. 3. Objectives and degree of responsibility should be clearly stated. 4. Budgets are prepared for the future periods based on expected course of actions. 5. Budgets are updated for the events that were not kept into the mind while establishing budgets. 6. The entire organization must be committed to budgeting. 7. Budgets should be quantifiable and master budget should be broken down into various functional budgets. 8. Budgets should be monitored periodically. 9. Budgetary performance needs to be linked effectively to the reward system. Characteristics of budget. 1. A budget is concerned for a definite future period. 2. A budget is a written document. 3. A budget is a detailed plan of all the economic activities of a business. 4. All the departments of a business unit cooperate for the preparation of a business budget. 5. Budget is a mean to achieve business and it is not an end in itself. 6. Budget needs to be updated, corrected, and controlled every time when circumstances change. Therefore, it is a continuous process. 7. Budget helps in planning, coordination, and control. 8. Different types of budgets are prepared by industries according to business requirements. 9. A budget acts a business barometer. 10. Budget is usually prepared in the light of past experiences. 11. Budget is a constant endeavor of the management. Objectives of budgeting. Planning. Directing and coordinating. Controlling. Budgetary control. Meaning. Budgetary control is the establishment of budgets relating to the responsibilities of executives of a policy and the continuous comparison of the actual with the budgeted results, either to secure by individual action the objective of the policy or to provide a basis for its revision. Budgetary control involves 1. Establishment of budgets. 2. Continuous comparison of actual with budgets for achievement of targets. 3. Revision of budgets after considering changed circumstances. 4. Placing the responsibility for failure to achieve the budget targets. Objectives of budgetary control system. 1. Portraying with precision the overall aims of the business and determining targets of performance for each section or department of the business. 2. Laying down the responsibilities of each of the executives and other personnel so that everyone knows what is expected of him and how he will be judged. Budgetary control is one of the few ways in which an objective assessment of executives or department is possible. 3. Providing a basis for the comparison of actual performance with the predetermined targets and investigation of deviation, if any, of actual performance and expenses from the budgeted figures. This naturally helps in adopting corrective measures. 4. Ensuring the best use of all available resources to maximize profit or production, subject to the limiting factors. Since budgets cannot be properly drawn up without considering all aspects, usually there is good coordination when a system of budgetary control operates. 5. Coordinating the various activities of the business, and centralizing control and yet enabling management to decentralize responsibility and delegate authority in the overall interest of the business. 6. Engendering a spirit of careful forethought, assessment of what is possible and an attempt at it. It leads to dynamism without recklessness. Of course, much depends on the objectives of the firm and the vigor of its management. 7. Providing a basis for revision of current and future policies. 8. Drawing up long-range plans with a fair measure of accuracy. 9. Providing a yardstick against which actual results can be compared. Advantages of budgetary control system. 1. Efficiency. The use of budgetary control system enables the management of a business concern to conduct its business activities in the efficient manner. 2. Control on expenditure. It is a powerful instrument used by business houses for the control of their expenditure. 3. Finding deviations. It reveals the deviations to management, from the budgeted figures after making a comparison with actual figures. 4. Implementation of standard costing system. It creates suitable conditions for the implementation of standard costing system in a business organization. 5. Effective utilization of resources. Effective utilization of various resources like men, material, machinery, and money is made possible, as the production is planned after taking them into account. 6. Revision of plans. It helps in the review of current trends and framing of future policies. 7. Cost consciousness. Budgets are studied by outside fund providers also, such as banking and financial institutions, realizing that management encourages cost consciousness and maximum utilization of available resources. 8. Credit rating. Management which have developed a well-ordered budget plans and which operate accordingly, receive greater favor from credit agencies. Limitations of budgetary control system. 1. Based on estimates. Budgets are based on series of estimates which are based on the conditions prevailed or expected at the time budget is established. It requires revision in plan if conditions change. 2. Time factor. Budgets cannot be executed automatically. Some preliminary steps are required to be accomplished before budgets are implemented. It requires proper attention and time management. Management must not expect too much during the development period. 3. Cooperation required. Staff cooperation is usually not available during budgetary control exercise. In a decentralized organization, each unit has its own objective and these units enjoy some degree of discretion. In this type of organization structure, coordination among different units are required. The success of the budgetary control depends upon willing cooperation and teamwork. 4. Expensive. Its implementation is quite expensive. For successful implementation of the budgetary control, proper organization structure with responsibility is prerequisite. Budgeting process start from the collection of requirements to budget and performance analysis. It consumes valuable resources for these purpose, hence, it is an expensive process. 5. Not a substitute for management. Budget is only a managerial tool and must be applied correctly for management to get benefited. Budgets are not a substitute for management. 6. Rigid document. Budgets are considered as rigid document. But in reality, an organization is exposed to various uncertain internal and external factors. Budget should be flexible enough to incorporate ongoing developments in the internal and external factors affecting the very purpose of the budget. Components of budgetary control system. 1. Physical budgets. Those budgets which contain information in terms of physical units about sales, production, etc. For example, quantity of sales, quantity of production, inventories, and manpower budgets are physical budgets. 2. Cost budgets. Budgets which provides cost information in respect of manufacturing, selling, administration, etc. For example, manufacturing costs, selling costs, administration cost, and research and development cost budgets are cost budgets. 3. Financial budgets. A budget which facilitates in ascertaining the financial position of a concern, for example, cash budgets, capital expenditure budget, budgeted balance sheet, etc. 4. Profit budgets. A budget which enables in the ascertainment of profit, for example, sales budget, profit and loss budget, etc. Preparation of budget. 1. Definition of objectives. A budget being a plan for the achievement of certain operational objectives, it is desirable that the same are defined precisely. 2. Location of the key, or budget, factor. There is usually one factor, sometimes there may be more than one, which sets a limit to the total activity. Example, availability of power. 3. Appointment of controller. the controller is responsible for coordinating and development of budget programs and preparing the manual of instruction, known as budget manual. For budget manual, a budget manual is a collection of documents that contains key information for those involved in the planning process. 5. Budget period. The period covered by a budget is known as budget period. Normally, a calendar year or a period coterminous with the financial year is adopted. 6. Standard of activity or output.